It's now the fourth Saturday of my Saturday sequence videos of how to demolish secret strongholds in your life. There's four things that everybody that I know in my own experience of breaking free and demolishing secret sexual strongholds in my life that I had, and everybody that I know that I've got out of that secret sexual stronghold and not just escaped it, not just broke free, but demolished that secret stronghold in lives. They have these four things. The first thing is a proper mindset. My first four videos have been strictly about that. Basically, in a nutshell, what is a proper mindset? It is trusting the right thing to give you fulfillment. So whether you are giving in or not giving in to a secret sexual stronghold in your life, it is knowing that that is not going to fulfill you. It's trusting not that secret sexual perversion, but it's trusting something else. It's trusting God in order to give you that fulfillment. So whether you are in that sin, whether you are acting out right now or not, when you're doing it, even if you're doing it, while you're doing it, it's recognizing that this is not going to give you fulfillment, but that something else is. So the mindset is serving the correct God, not serving a fake God of this secret sexual perversion. That's the first thing that you absolutely must have in order to break free and demolish secret strongholds in your life. The second thing is what I'm getting into in the next several videos. That's proper knowledge. So proper mindset you first have, and then proper knowledge. Once you have the correct mindset, then you can have the correct facts, scientific facts, spiritual facts, psychological facts that I'm going to be showing, and taking it with the correct mindset. When you do that, then in the heat of temptation, that truth, that facts, that proper knowledge doesn't become a idea or a theory. Because if you are serving the wrong God, if you're serving and enslaved to this sexual sin, but you're also trying to get away from it, in the heat of it, it doesn't matter what you know to be true, because your emotions are going to take over, because that secret sexual stronghold is telling you nothing else matters, just how you feel. But if you are serving the correct God, if you are serving and if you are seeking something good and not this secret sexual destructive habit in your life, then you can have those thoughts and you can even be giving in to this secret sexual stronghold, but you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is not going to fulfill you, because the true facts that you are going to be getting in these next few videos, you can take as truth. You can take as truth to help you, because you don't want to be into this and you don't serve this either. So this secret sexual sin cannot tell you that the things you know to be true are not true and just worry about your emotion. It cannot tell you that because you don't serve it anymore. You're serving something good. You know in your mind that there's something else better out there that can fulfill you. So you can take those true facts, this proper knowledge, and use it for good to help you. The third thing then is a genuine crisis experience, which we'll eventually get to. And the last thing is a game plan. Once you have all these in sequence. So jumping in then to this proper knowledge, the first thing really that I want to hit on, and this is pretty big, in the next couple videos I'm sure I'm still going to be talking about this proper knowledge of how your brain works, how your brain is wired, how you can use your mind to actually rewire your brain. So just getting started with that, before anything else, it's important to know that your brain and the way your brain is wired, the way your brain works, that is the initial pull. That is the initial idea, or basically that's where we get temptation. That from that call out, or that initiation from the brain that says, hey, here's something. And why does it come out of your brain? Because your brain has been wired that way somehow. So to kind of slow that down a little bit, what your brain thinks about, what your brain sees as normal and all this stuff, yeah, those are called memories, and that is something that you capture, and I'm definitely going to get to that as well in the next coming videos. But before anything like that, it's important to know that your brain is wired by what your brain fires. There's a quote I love. It's neurons, literally talking about in your brain. Neurons that fire together are wired together. Almost think of it like a jet stream. A jet stream, when you see it up in the sky, you see the jet, so that's, say, the neuron, and it's going through the sky. Well, imagine if everything in your brain is thinking this way by family values, or how you're brought up, or what you're used to seeing, or what you surround yourself with, and you have 100 jets going the same direction and they're zigzagging in and out. Imagine the trail that it leaves behind. It's almost like a braid, if you will, a braid of about 100 different cords or 100 different wires. Well, that whole little combined braided jet streams behind all those neurons actually become, in a sense, a wire. It becomes a way that your brain muscles kind of just begin to put together, and it almost is a not just firing or something that comes from a memory, but literally your brain is wired in that way or another. So put that together kind of in your mind, but how to basically change or rewire then that brain or those wires in your brain doesn't come from really what you think about, but how you think about what you think about. So it's almost a state of, right now you're thinking about this video and you're watching it and you're thinking whatever you're thinking. But while you're doing that, think about what you're thinking right now. Think about the fact that your brain is thinking something about this video. And that right there, that how you think or how you focus, that right there is how you can rewire your brain. That triggered focus or that focused attention is basically your mind. So you have this brain, you have the way that your brain is wired, and that'll send something out. That'll send that initial thought, or that's kind of where that temptation or something comes from. And right there, that's not wrong. That's not a sin. That's a desire. That's a temptation, or that's a little thought that comes out from your brain. But your mind decides what to do about that. So your mind is not your brain. It's two totally separate things. But what comes from your brain, we can use our mind to rewire it by thinking about it and how you think about it correctly. I know that's a lot that I just kind of on you, but that is really kind of what I'm going to be talking about in the next couple weeks as far as how your brain is wired. So often it obviously starts at, a young age or childhood, and this is one of those things where I see that we are more apt to certain things. We're more apt to certain things, not because, say in your family line, there was really nobody that went out and slept with prostitutes. Nobody really ever. But the way that you were taught, not specifically, but subliminally, the way that your mind was wired is how you thought about and how you were taught by what you saw as normal in your family, or how you grew up, or friends, or television, or your entertainment, whatever it is, how that is lined up and how that is wired through all the braided jet streams now becomes a certain way that your brain, without emotion, just cognitively, your brain is telling you that this is how it needs to be. This is normal. And so your brain is literally wired in a certain way of thinking and how you're thinking about what you're thinking, where all of a sudden you are sleeping with prostitutes every night. But hey, this isn't a family thing. This isn't anything like this. But somehow how your mind is put together says that it's not important to worry about that type of thing, and it's not really that big a deal, and you might recognize it's a bad thing, but you don't really care in some way or another. So some people then are more apt to go and sleep with prostitutes every night, while some people are more apt to pornography, or some people are more apt to lying, or some people are more apt to drugs. Some people are more apt to whatever. Fill in the blank there. But this right there, and that whole concept right there of what you're more apt to, not by the knowledge and what you've been told, but how you've learned to how you think about what you think about. We might be more apt to certain sins or certain things, but it doesn't mean you have to make that become you. Homosexuality. Often people say it's a choice. No, it's not a choice, but there are many people that are more apt to thinking that way. There are many people that are more apt to homosexual tendencies. Does that make you permitted to engage in homosexual activity all the time? No, it doesn't. The same with porn. The same with prostitution, child molestation, whatever you want there. For whatever reason, when people say, well, it's okay, it's because your brain might be wired that way a little bit more, so you're more apt to this sin. A lot of people don't even wrestle with a sexual sin or sexual perversion. To them, it's like, well, whatever. But they are more apt to some other type of flaw or addiction or pull, whatever it is. So what I'm specifically obviously talking about is sexual perversion and being more apt to some type of sexual perversion. And it's crazy how your memory and your pleasure and your sense of fear and your sense of needing control and all that stuff is all kind of lodged in the same spot in your brain. I'm actually going to unfold that quite a bit in the next couple of videos. But this is kind of, I guess, like the kind of general what's going on with the mind and the rewiring and all that stuff. So I'm going to get really specific as far as how to use your mind and how to intentionally be really forgive me, I can't think of the word mindful. I want to be careful using the word mindful, because mindfulness can sometimes get us a little bit more out in left field, but being a lot more mindful about how we think about what we think about in the midst of temptation and in the midst of going through your day. And this right here, again, as you see, this is how to demolish those secret sexual strongholds, not just get away from it a little bit. So we're going to plunge forward definitely next Saturday, so be looking, and I will see you then.